After 12 months of rumors and leaks, the two highest-end Apple phones of the year are here. During its far-out event, the company launched the iPhone 14 Pro and iPhone 14 Pro Max. These two devices come packed with hardware upgrades, some of the biggest changes we've seen on an iPhone in many years. These include the retirement of the notch in favor of a smarter hole and pel cutout, in addition to upgraded camera systems, and more. At this event, Apple also announced the iPhone 14 series, AirPods Pro 2, Apple Watch Series 8, Apple Watch SE 2, and the Apple Watch Ultra. Apple's new iPhone 14 phones are bringing new updates to their cameras, as well as the return of a larger Plus model, and a focus on safety features like car crash detection. These phones, which start at $799, were announced Wednesday by Apple alongside the iPhone 14 Pro and Pro Max. For starters, the iPhone 14 Pro utilizes the new pel cutout to display relevant software elements. So, for example, if you're using Face ID, the authentication pop-up smoothly expands from the pel, then shrinks away in a similar manner. This replaces many of the UI elements that used to occupy the middle of the screen. As a result, the user experience becomes less distracting, thanks to this execution. In the display department, we also got some other interesting upgrades. Notably, the screen now has smaller bezels and supports up to 2000 nits of brightness, making it very easy to view content in sunny, outdoor environments. Speaking of the screen, the iPhone 14 Pro introduces always-on display support. This means you can leave your screen on at all times, without draining the battery significantly. Unlike what we see on mainstream Android phones, the always-on display feature on these iPhones has an innovative touch to it. Instead of going for a pitch-black plain background, the phone retains certain elements of the darkened wallpaper. This way, even when in always-on display mode, the iPhone still looks familiar and unique to its user. Apart from that, users get to view information at a glance, such as the time, lock screen widgets, and more. In terms of appearance, the iPhone 14 Pro is available in 6.1-inch and 6.7-inch options. Apart from the larger camera bump, the rear side remains unchanged for the most part. The more exciting modifications are on the front-facing side. Apple has finally dropped the notorious notch in favor of two cutouts, a hole and a pel. This reappearance provides users with more screen space, and looks more futuristic than the white notch. Expectedly, Apple has stuck to the stainless steel build and glass back, though the color variations have been adjusted. This year we get space black, silver, gold, and deep purple finishes in the Pro iPhone department. This year's iPhone 14 Pro models pack the all-new Apple A16 Bionic chip and solid battery life. As you may have assumed, these phones support the QI and MagSafe wireless charging standards. Additionally, you get to refill their juice through a lightning cable. The good news is that this could be the last year Apple utilizes the proprietary and ancient lightning port on an iPhone. Next year's release could be the first to include the USB Type-C port instead. In the connectivity department, users in the US and Canada get satellite access for Find My and emergencies. The service, which works in no coverage areas, will remain free for 2 years after it launches in November. It's still unclear how much it'll cost afterward, though. Speaking of emergencies, the iPhone 14 models also introduce a crash detection feature. Interestingly, those buying an iPhone 14 Pro in the United States will only get a dual SIM option. Apple has retired to physical SIM in this country. The cameras got a lot of love this year, particularly on the iPhone 14 Pro models. Apple has finally upgraded the wide rear lens resolution from 12 megapixel to a whopping 48 megapixel. This contributes to the larger camera bump that keeps on growing with every annual iPhone release. The wide lens now supports the pixel binning technology, combing 4 pixels into one. This leads to even better shots, especially when it comes to capturing light. Pixel binning utilizes the 48 megapixel lens to produce higher quality 12 megapixel shots. Those wishing to work with 48 megapixel output can resort to ProRAW for that. The true depth camera on the front gets a new, faster f1.9 aperture lens. Apple also added a new video stabilization mode, dubbed Action Mode. It's developed to keep your videos looking smooth even when you're recording video while walking or moving around. The iPhone 14 Pro and 14 Pro Max start at $999 and $1,099 in the US respectively. They will be available for pre-orders starting Friday, September 9th. They will then start shipping to customers on September 16th. Thank you for watching this video. What do you think about the updated iPhone? Write your opinion in the comments. Have a nice day and see you soon.